Hi guys, Natasha with Natasha'Scrapbookorner. Today I'm coming to you really quickly to share with you a tip on how to release your resin out of large, thin molds like this. So here's a few examples of what you can mold out of your molds. And you can actually roll it into really cute thing depending what you have on the mold. And I have a few large molds, different patterns at NSK, and I just wanted to share with you how you safely can release those after your resin is cured. Okay, so usually this type of molds are for baking and you know, cakes decoration, but you definitely can use these molds as for craft purpose. I have to mention that after you used resin or anything chemical like this on this mold, do not use it for baking anymore. So that's gonna go in your craft spot, and you should not, absolutely should not reuse it for any food related purposes. So usually this type of molds are, as I said, very skinny and they're very flexible, but as I showed you, the decoration could be very, very tiny. I should get a darker surface, and very, you cannot even see that, very delicate, but let's see if I can put it on this fabric. My apologies. Just right here again. So those embellishments, you can, again, you can mix your resin with the color to have already matching, or you can use a clear resin, or you can paint it, alcohol ink it, depending on what you want. Those type of molds are perfect for mixed media because they are gonna give you the texture, and you will gesso over them, and they're gonna be just perfect for your mixed media project and card making because they're lightweight. So those are fun to have. So now pouring your resin in. I didn't record the pouring, but Diana Spare Marbles 2012 did experiment on how to use this mold and how pour them in, but I will briefly explain it to you, and I will pop the link below to Diana's tutorial because she was working exactly with NSK products. Excuse me. So when you have your resin mix already mixed in, you have it in a plastic cup per se. Imagine we have some liquid in here, okay, and we are gonna be doing, so we decide to do this part, for example. So we are pouring few dots of liquid resin, and I would definitely encourage you to use not fast setup resin, the ones that sets up over 24 hours, because it gives you a working time, because you're gonna need to spread your resin all over the sheet because you don't want to waste it. So I was mixing 2 tablespoons mix A and 2 tablespoons of one tablespoon of mix A and 1 tablespoon, those come with measuring cups. So total of mixture you have 2 tablespoons, and that should be enough to cover your sheet. So try with a little part, try a little element part of the resin, and when you get a hold of the technique, then you're gonna be able to work a larger area. But so coming back, you have a few drops of your resin on the element, so then you're gonna need to use your credit card or some sort of silicone scraper and start spreading it. Be sure you have a good lighting and to see if all cracks are filled in. So, and you basically keep spreading it. Do not bother to not going over the edges. Do go over edges. So I want you to spread it beyond the area of your resin element here. So, and then you're gonna be scraping it equal amount, pressing into your resin and spreading it all excess of resin on other elements of your mat, filling up all little bitty tiny cracks. You will, unless it's colored, you will miss some. Like for example, on this edge of butterfly, you see the tear. It should be really smooth. That shows me that I didn't fill it in properly. Okay, but it's not a big deal. Or for example, this element will speak bright. It's supposed to be the whole chain of the flowers right there. And you see I didn't spread it enough on this element. So, and to avoid the tear in between, I'll show you how to release when your mold is cooked. So basically you want to have your whole area prepared that your resin will go over. So work on a larger surface, put away computer mouses and keyboards and etc. So prepare the wider area for yourself to work and spread it all the way, even going over the edges of your mold, keeping a slight pressure on your card or your scraper, and keep smoothing it, keep pushing it inside of your mold because it's so thin. You want to be sure it's all here. And then when you spread it all over your desired mold areas, you will still have excess of the resin on your card. So in that case, you are taking a towel. Keep a roll of towels handy because you're gonna be scraping, pressing, gently pressing, scraping, and put excess wiping it off your card, and then wipe again and wipe it again. Press and wipe it again. Press and wipe it again. That way you will have, let me show you closer if the camera can pick it up. You will have almost, you know, inside, you know, up to the level, you know, even below the level of the mold, so a little bit less than the deepness of the mold, that way. And it seems like you do not have enough because this part is raised, this part is indented. You definitely do have enough. So let's start with a smaller object like this. Move the keyboard. Like this flower. So I put my hand underneath and I let the mold hang on my fingers, and I gently starting to press it from inside, pushing, and you see the pop-up area already released, and this area is still different color. That means it's still releasing, so just keep pressing. And if it's stuck at knot, doesn't want to go, so what you do, you still have your finger underneath of the area, so you gently press in with another finger next to it. Kind of working around it. Okay. So now it's almost released. It got a little pink dot in here. At this point I feel safe to take it. So there you have it. Okay. And it's glossy on one side, on the back side, and it's more matte on the other side. So let's try it again with a larger area. Let's see. Okay, shall we do like a butterfly? Which one is in the area? Okay, larger and very delicate area. So I'm trying to put equal amount of pressure on all sides. So I put both of my hands underneath, and I'm starting to work from the edges, keeping my fingers under and kind of smoothing it out, kind of like working this way, applying the pressure on a rubber mat from with inside. And I have my two fingers on top on the edges, and I'm just stretching that rubber out and working all along the whole element. Okay. And if you see it's getting white on the edges, so it started to release on the edges. So the most important thing to get it released on the edges, that's where it's the most delicate. So now I can bend my mat even farther. Okay, it's stuck in here. Gently help it. So you want mat, you want your rubber mat roll off of your embellishment, off of your resin. By bending it like this, rolling under, you are, can I just move it to myself? Excuse me. So I flipped it inside. So I'm just rolling my mold away, releasing the element. Take your time, then it's gonna be, you know, serve better. So I'm squashing it underneath. I'm not touching the resin at all, so I want that mold release it on its own. And there you have it. Very delicate butterfly, and the only tear in here is where I didn't put my resin fully, like in here and in here. So that's why it's very important for you to be sure to fill all the cracks. Okay, so now on the larger element, like this. All right, let me see which one would be in a frame better. Okay, so I'm starting from the edges again because those are the most delicate ones, and I'm just simply pressing my mold under, trying to release all these little butterfly antennas, you know. I need it to release on the edges because that's where it's the most delicate. I'm putting my finger under and just keep peeling the mold away from the resin. Okay, at this point I probably feel safe to grab my pick up my resin piece like that and start gently peeling it. Not yet, not that fast. So I am keep working it. It's great to have this mold so thin and flexible because it really bends really good. And you just peeling it off till you can get a hold of your resin piece. Okay. I'm slightly holding on my resin, but for the most part my movement is from inside of the mold with my finger like this. You see, I'm just keep poking it from inside out. I keep pushing this resin off the mold. Okay, let's see what we got here. Beautiful, right? And because the resin, you would think the resin is pretty hard material, but because it's so thin, it gives. You see, it gives. So and this one particular, I can actually buckle up into the cup. Or cupcake holder. Okay. And there you have it. Absolutely beautiful. So those are the tips on how to release your molds, larger molds. Hope this video was helpful. Otherwise, I'll talk to you later. The link's gonna be below.
Little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went, Mary went, Mary went. And everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. It followed her to school one day, school one day, school one day. It followed her to school.